I love Arcade. God is working here in powerful, powerful ways. I can't wait to hear all the stories. People are sharing how life change is taking place in their community group. People are sharing how they are seeing the gospel in action on Sunday mornings. Continue to share these stories. I have one more challenge for you guys. I would love it if you have a community group of people, if there's 3 or more of you that are devoted to discussing scripture, praying with and for each other, serving, sharing responsibility, hanging out, adding new people to your group, then my challenge for you is take a group photo this week. Grab a cell phone, something, and capture your group and send that to communitygroup@arcadechurchonline.com. We would love to celebrate with you the growth that God's doing in your group. We'd love to know who you are. So take a photo of yourself and send it to communitygroup@arcadeonline.com.
Communitygroup@arcadechurchonline.com.
And send it to communitygroup@arcadechurchonline.com. See you.
Here's Craig.
Hey everyone. I hope again you're having a great week. Can you believe the holidays are around the corner? And no doubt you have a lot of plans ready for those holidays. Hope you have a great time with that. We were in Romans chapter 10, towards the last part of Romans chapter 10, where we talked about how are people going to hear unless they have someone telling them. I think it's really important, especially in your community group, that you have this conversation. For example, the mission statement of Arcade Church is to get as many people as possible to hear and see Jesus. There is a very strong thrust in our culture to make sure that the Christian church, that Jesus is seen in a lot of what we do. Here's the weird thing about that. Faith does not come by seeing. Faith comes by hearing. There is a message that we have to get. It is not realistic to just go out to society and be good and expect people to come to us and say, man, you people are so good. What is it about you? Has that happened to you? It hasn't happened to me. The reality is there's a lot of good people out there who don't believe in Jesus. You and I have been called on a mission, and that is to tell the gospel story. There is content, there are facts to that gospel that God has called us to be. A couple of weeks ago, you heard me say that worship is celebrating the availability of God. That's why we gather on Sundays. There's a reason why we gather on Sunday. There's a reason why your community group is gathering. Is because we want to remind ourselves that God has made himself available to us in his sovereignty, in his beauty, in his power. He is so other than us, and yet the gospel says he has made himself available to us. That's why we gather on Sundays. We gather so that we can be able to celebrate, remind ourselves God is available. He has made it so. But now we scatter to make ourselves available to others. We scatter into our communities, into our neighborhoods, into our office pools, into the PTA, into coaching Little League. We scatter because we want to make ourselves available to others with the gospel of Christ, just as this great God has made himself available to us. There is that rhythm to our life, this gather and scatter, where we are displaying the availability of God and we are celebrating the availability of God. I'd like you to talk about that if you can in your community group, because I think it'd be really great to think about ways that you as a community group can be able to bless the community by making yourselves available, but also in a way that you're speaking the gospel. Because like Paul says in Romans 10, faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. So find ways that people can hear Christ as well as see him. See you Sunday.